How do you calculate employee checks? We're going to talk all about that in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Hector Garcia. I'm a CPA, QuickBooks consultant, and a business owner. I'm a big fan of Intuit QuickBooks, and I'm partnering with them to produce this video series about payroll. In fact, I have an entire YouTube channel where I have tons of videos about QuickBooks, accounting, tax, and a bunch of important small business topics. Today, I'm going to talk about how to calculate employee checks step by step so you'll know how to do it. Remember, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the QuickBooks YouTube channel. Okay, let's start from the top. This is called the Paycheck Formula. The Paycheck Formula goes like this. We're going to start with taxable wages, which is also referred to as gross pay, minus pre-tax deductions, minus employee taxes, minus after-tax deductions, plus non-taxable reimbursements. This will equal your net pay. Before you put the Paycheck Formula into practice, let's talk about the ingredients you will need to manually calculate a paycheck. For that, you're going to need the following: the employee's hourly rate or salary, federal, state, and local tax rates, information about the employee's retirement contributions, deductions, and reimbursements. Now let's go into the details for calculating an employee's paycheck. It involves 5 steps, and I'll walk you through each one. Step 1, we're going to calculate our employee's gross wages. Gross wages are the full amount an employer pays before deductions are made. Gross wages can sometimes exceed regular wages. For example, if they include overtime pay or bonuses. All of these wages are generally subject to tax. The components that go into calculating gross wages include an employee's hourly rate or a salary rate, how frequently you pay them, and whether other aspects of their compensation, such as bonuses, are paid in an annual basis or even in each period. If the employee has worked overtime, that needs to be calculated at the appropriate rate as well. Overtime rates actually vary by state. Step 2 is to take out any elective pre-tax items. These items the employee has chosen to withhold from their paychecks. This includes things like health insurance and employee 401k contributions. All these pre-tax items essentially reduce the employee's taxable wages. Okay, now to step 3, which is to deduct employee taxes. This includes your employee's federal income taxes, as well as taxes owed to the state, city, or local governments. I'm also adding a special half step, let's call it step 3.5, which is to accrue the employer portion of FICA, which is the tax used to fund Social Security and Medicare. These taxes are paid 50% by the employer. Step 4 is to take out any involuntary deductions from the employee's paycheck. A wage garnishment is a good example of an involuntary deduction. It may be a required payment to repay debts such as child support. Typically, the business will receive formal instructions from the court, including the amounts and the frequency. And finally, step number 5 is to add all non-taxable reimbursements to the net of the employee's paycheck. This is when the employers pay back employees when they spend their own money on business-related expenses, such as travel or purchases for work-related supplies and tools. These are called non-taxable reimbursements because they typically don't count towards calculating taxable wages, but they do increase the net check. All these items will help you arrive to the net paycheck amount for your employees and accumulate the payroll tax and tax liability payments to remit to the proper agencies. Staying organized, saving time, and avoiding errors are some of the biggest reasons why a lot of small business owners decide to use payroll software such as QuickBooks Payroll. Some of the other benefits of using QuickBooks Payroll include automation. This would be the ability to run your payroll and process direct deposit every pay period automatically. Depending on the version of QuickBooks Payroll you have, you could have access to expert assistance to set up your payroll, which could be a daunting task for a first-time employer doing it on their own. You also have the ability to print checks with the pay stubs if you don't want to process via direct deposit. With QuickBooks Payroll Elite, you can rely on a payroll expert to set up your payroll, review your tax filings, and take responsibility for potential mistakes if they happen to arise. As you can see, calculating employee paychecks could be difficult, but using software such as QuickBooks Payroll can be a valuable alternative to doing it manually. If you have any questions about this and other payroll topics, leave a comment below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you find this helpful, so you don't miss out on future videos. I'm Hector Garcia. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.